The Forest Service does something that feels completely backwards. They set the forest on fire. These are prescribed burns, planned, controlled, intentional. For generations, natural fires cleared out thick undergrowth. Without it, fuel builds up, so they burn it now to protect it later. I wanted to see it up close, but this isn't something to interfere with. We scouted the burn zone, picked a campsite just outside the border, and headed towards the flames. All right, we are airing down, about to hit the trail. I'm using a new product to air down. That's this little tire deflator. The guys that use these always beat me when we're airing down. Typically, my go-to is my Moreflate system, 4-tire hose system, hook all those up, drop the PSI. It's easy, but the guys using these always beat me. So I reached out to Wolfbox, asked if they'd send me a set. Really cool little device. You just unscrew it to the PSI you want, and then pop this on your valve stem, pull the plunger, and boom, that's it. But there is another product I want to tell you about while we air down. That is this beautiful little brick. It is the Wolfbox MegaVolt 24 Air. So what this is a battery jump starter. You guys have seen these on the market before. A lot of companies make this. What makes this unique is that it does a lot more than just jump start. So it does jump start your battery, 4,000 amps. If it's fully charged, it can do that. A truck like mine up to 40 times. But it's also an air compressor. So you hook the hose in here, set the PSI you want, hit power, and boom. Beyond that, it's also got a little emergency light. You can set to SOS mode. It's got USB-C and USB-A up here, 65 watts, fast charging. It is IP64 water and dust proof. Comes in this nifty little carrying case. Is this gonna be my main compressor? No. Is this gonna be something that stays in my truck 24/7 to make me feel better, especially when I'm solo? Absolutely. So if you're interested in this product, you can scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description down below. Long before it was called the Ozark National Forest, fire already lived here. Not as destruction, but as rhythm. Lightning would strike these ridges. Flames would move slowly through the hills, clearing the forest floor, opening sunlight to the ground and making way for new life. And the land adapted to it. Oak and hickory forest here don't just survive fire, they depend on it. For thousands of years, indigenous tribes across the Ozarks used fire intentionally. They burned the land to improve hunting, encourage fresh plant growth, and keep the forest open and healthy. Fire wasn't feared, it was understood. But that changed. As settlers moved in and towns grew, fire became something to stop at all costs. By the early 1900s, the Forest Service adopted a policy of total fire suppression. And for a while, it seemed like the right call. But without fire, the forest began to change. Underbrush thickened, dead fuel piled up. The open woodlands of the Ozarks slowly closed in on themselves. And when the fires did start, they burned hotter, faster, and far more destructive than anything before. So, the approach shifted. Today, in places like the Ozark National Forest, fire has been reintroduced, carefully, intentionally, and under strict conditions. These are prescribed burns, planned fires that restore balance to the landscape that was once built around them. They reduce dangerous fuel loads, protect against catastrophic wildfires, and bring life back to native grasses and wildflowers that have been waiting for the fire to return. It may look destructive in the moment, but in the Ozarks, fire isn't the end of the story. It's part of how the forest begins again. I said it before and I'll say it again, this is not something to interfere with. While the fires are controlled, they're still dangerous. It's important to keep a healthy distance from the burns and check the FAA for temporary flight restrictions if you fly a drone. We were respectful and cautious as we headed towards the burn, followed the rules. The scent in the air is a top 10 for me. I'd bottle it and wear it like cologne if my wife wouldn't kill me. Before long, we reached Bigfoot Hollow, made our way through the swampy trenches, and arrived at camp. son and I haven't gotten out, just the two of us, since last summer. We've done a couple of family trips, but getting time with just him, it's special. His name is Abraham. When he was born, his sister couldn't pronounce his name. She called him Hammerhand, and from that, the nickname Hammer stuck. I'm sure some people thought, oh, how typical, a hyper macho name for the boy of a man who beats up trucks for a living. I'm sure some assumed the name came from me, but they would be dead wrong. It was a 4-year-old little girl with a pink bow in her hair. Kinda awesome. At his last basketball game, he strong-armed a rebound in the paint, and the crowd cheered, "Hammer!" I felt about as proud as a dad could be. Not because of the play, but because I know where that name comes from. An unintentional yet prophetic crown of strength bestowed upon him by his big sis. Yeah, I'm going to show them what you did. What's up? Abraham has built an epic fire, which is worthy of documentation. We just did a cold plunge in the mulberry, and it was frigid. I've got this cold plunge thing going right now. I don't know why, but I'm into it. Look at this. Bro would not let me give him a fire starter. I have one of those big propane torches. Wouldn't let me give him the torch. He said, I'm going to do it legit. And he gathered the wood. I even brought wood. He won't use the wood that I brought. And look at what he's made. He is a true man of the forest. You said that like 3 years ago. So we are here at Bigfoot Hollow. I've done a members trip here. I'll put a link to that here on the screen. This spot, the way that I remember this spot is it's got the table that's grown into the tree. So you can see what I'm talking about. Someone built this at some point, taking the stump from this tree, running this piece apart. And it's been here long enough that it's kind of grown into the tree, which is super cool. We kind of just explored some today, which was fun, and found some new spots. Found one really cool spot. I didn't document it. I'm going to go back there and camp at another point. It's not directly on the water. We wanted to be on the water on this trip. I didn't have my cameras out, but I definitely will do a trip there soon because, so all the rock walls in the Ozarks that like people that used to homestead out here and lived out here, they, put up around their properties. Someone told me a funny story one time. I asked why so many of them had property fences made of rock. And he said, because iPads didn't exist. So like literally the way they kept kids busy is said, hey, go build 5 feet of rock fence around the property and then you can go fishing or whatever. And so most of those, if that's true, I hadn't fact checked it, but if what he told me is true, most of the fences in the Ozarks were built by kids of the families that lived out there, which is cool. Anyways, see a lot of those fences when you're out here and smokes get me. And, but there's no campsites that I found that are like right on one, but I found one and it's in one of these old homesteads and literally the established fire pit is right on that place. So not going to show it in this video. We'll show it in a future one. But we knew we wanted to do the cold plunge. We knew we wanted to be on the water. And so we came down here to the beautiful Bigfoot Hollow. You can see the emerald waters out here. A little cloudy. We've got a lot of rain, so the levels are up. But that inevitably leads to mud and runoff build up into the water. And so it's a little cloudy, but sure was refreshing. And I definitely waited until I can breathe normal to start recording this because I was sounding a little wussy there for a while, wasn't I, Abraham? After we dunked in the water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Abraham coming out was, it's not even that cold. Just me and the hammer, and we brought the Conqueror because my boy is getting big enough to where the two of us in a rooftop tent, especially in the tent that I have, it's just, you know, I'm not a small man, and he's turning into a grown adult. And so, yeah, it's just a lot of dude for a tent. So we brought the Conqueror, plenty of space. One of the things that I love about this camper is you can kind of deploy as much of it as you need. So right here, this is the bed that folds out. We don't need it for this trip, so I've just left that button up. Also, you can see the roof is not extended upwards. No need for that. Basically, we're using it like a big teardrop. So I've got the main bed set up on the inside, and we're just gonna crawl in when it's bedtime, sleep on that. That's a queen size bed. It's plenty of space for the two of us. It's between a queen and a king, the lower bed. So plenty of space for us. And then tear down, all we have to do in the morning is put up the awnings and the little bathroom shower area. I didn't even detach it from the truck, left it hooked up to the truck. Easy, breezy, beautiful. So tonight we are doing fajitas. This is a special night. So I originally was gonna be camping with Benji boy. Benji was bringing one of their vintage Land Cruisers down, broke down near Springfield, Missouri, had a trailer at home. Sorry, Benji, that's a bummer. And he and I were gonna kickstart this bourbon and cigars podcast thing that he has been kind of dreaming up. So I had everything packed up last night, ready to roll and meet him, and that ended up getting canceled. And I said, you know what, we're not wasting having all the gear, all the food, everything ready to roll. So I asked this guy right here and said, you wanna go camp? And he said, absolutely, positively. Yeah, well, what he actually said was, I'll go if we can get oatmeal cream pies. And we got out here and did not get oatmeal cream pies. So that was a slick dad move. I was like, yeah, bro, absolutely. We'll get those. And then we get all the way out here. Oh, man, I forgot. Classic dad. Benji, if you're watching this one, man, I had planned this for you. And
too bad.
Too bad, so sad. So we've been marinating the steak and the chicken and the veggies in some taco seasoning. It's been rocking and rolling. Then I've also got a few pieces of shrimp. Abraham's not as much of a shrimp fan, so this is just gonna be for me. We got us some limes, a little fresh cilantro, and then the secret ingredient, salsa verde. Some tomatillo salsa. Dude, this just hits. Oh, and the thing I haven't mentioned that I need to mention is this right here. So we'll pull focus. This is a custom hot sauce from one of my subs and channel members, Taste of Freedom Overland. And they make hot sauce. He gave me at Benji's Friendsgiving, he gave me a whole box of their hot sauces, and this is one of them. We're gonna save that for the end. All right, this is getting good and hot. And this is why I like this meal. You prep it ahead of time, and literally all you got to do is that right there. Listen to the glory. Now, I brought enough of this for 2 grown men for 2 dinners. So me and Abraham are gonna have plenty. Abraham's got the tortillas in some foil sitting by the fire, keeping them nice and warm. Now you guys need to see this. It's only right for you to see. Look at this. Look at what we're dealing with. Look at that. So the real question is, do you think this is enough for me and a 10-year-old boy?
Oh, yeah. That.
He says he'll eat half. Every time that I cook with this pan, pot, skillet, griddle, someone asked me, what is the story with it? What is it? So it's called a skrittle. It is a skillet and a griddle mixed together. It's perfect for this type of thing because it's got edges. Most of them don't have the edges, and so it ends up splashing out. And it still does it some, but not too bad.
My turn.
My turn. We gotta let the YouTubes know what we think. A little bit of lime, cilantro, some tomatilla. Moment of truth, YouTubes. Here we go. Oh my word. I think the only right thing is for us to make another. So this trip almost didn't happen. I mentioned earlier, I was supposed to be doing something with Benji, and then that fell through. And, you know, the truck was all loaded up, but a part of me was like, well, I guess I'll probably just stay in. I thought about going down to Jasper Jeep Jam. That's going on this weekend. I've got some buddies down there. But, you know, I just came off a members trip, which was a big group. I'm not one that really enjoys camping and kind of, you know, crowded, lots of folks. And I could do that occasionally. But anyways, I just wasn't feeling it this weekend. So decided to just cancel. And then I was talking to Abraham. And I asked the girls, asked Lennon and Lucy if they wanted to go camping and they wanted to go to the mall with their mom. They're hitting that age, or Lennon is, and Lucy just wants to do whatever Lennon does. But Abraham was down, and I'm so glad that we got out. Getting outside, changing up the routine, taking a break from screens, you know. So I'm glad we did it. All right, so all in all, I give myself a 7 out of 10. My fried egg, yolk is runny, that's good. Bacon, crispy, not burned, good. Biscuits, a little bit burned, but cooking biscuits on a skillet, that's difficult. I split them in half, and they're not like too charred, so 7 out of 10. I think I did pretty good. Bacon is the only way to start an Ozarks morning. Only way. Well, if you watch my channel, you know I often don't start my morning with bacon. Sometimes it's Greek yogurt, fruit. Sometimes it's just coffee or a protein shake. But the only right way is to start the morning with crispy bacon. I tend to get messy.
And so we packed up and made our way back towards the burns. Most of them had died down, leaving only the charred forest floor and a lingering scent. It's funny how something so potentially destructive can also be what paves the way for new life. Introduce a bit of moderation, prep, and control, and chaos becomes creation. As my dad would say, there's a sermon in there, but I'll save that for another day.
Well, we are loaded up, fixing to hit the trail and head on home. This has been an incredible weekend, super fun. Had a blast with you, Abraham, hanging out here in Bigfoot Hollow. What was the best part of the weekend?
Cold plunge.
Cold plunge. That was the worst part for me. Best part for me was not having to touch the fire. You tended the fire all weekend. I didn't have to man it at all. Dude kept it going. Even when I woke up this morning, he had gotten up early and had it roaring. That was nice to sip my coffee and get warmed up. So good time. Thank you guys to all of our members. Your name's over here. Appreciate you guys supporting the content. If you're watching this and you would like to become a channel member, Slack access, member strips, GPS coordinates, all the good stuff, you can scan that QR code right down there, or you can click the join button down below. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure you like it, comment, share. But the new thing on YouTube now is hyping. It's the buttons right down here. It's kind of to the right of the like button. You hype that, it helps me a whole lot. So I appreciate if you do that as well. And to our channel sponsors, you guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting the channel. Links to your websites down below. If you want to watch some more Baker Overland, you might look at this video up here, or you can check out this one down here, which we actually camped here at Bigfoot Hollow with like 17 rigs. That's pretty cool. But more important than that, remember,
The more you camp,
the less deer
the
the aliens
aliens
abduct.
abduct.
Let's go. Good job, dude.